Hi, in this video I will be showing you how to put together the fishing hat box, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So in this video, of course, we're making this little fishing hat. So here's a little tag that comes with it. Here's a version of it. And it's more like a box and a hat. It just kind of comes up like that. And so it just sits on there, so it's a nice little gift box inside. It's good for birthdays, Father's Days, for any fishing person there. And it has a bunch of like little lures that I added with them. And so here are the pieces. So we have all these little, the tag, that's a print and cut tag. It's not cuttable. So that's up to you, or you can use a different thing. So you can change the colors on this too. These are all the pieces to piece together the little fishing lure and bobber. But and then we're going to do that first, but let me show you the pieces for the box. So this is the brim, and then the box inside, and then this will be the lid. So these pieces. So just make sure you keep them separated as you cut them by mat. So we'll go ahead and take out these pieces here. So these are not easily sized down, just to let you know. If you wanted to make a smaller hat, you probably want to do a print and cut or something to that effect. But this is how you would piece these. I'm going to go through each one. So these go with, I'm going to basically tell you the overview of it, and then I'll put them together. So I'll show you the overview of how to go together, and then I'll just put them together without doing a lot of talking, so you can see how it's put together. So this goes like this first one. That's underneath there, like that. And this next one, which I have a little, just trying to get my little dot that didn't come out. Got a little glue on my hands. This layers the back part. So I just need to make sure you have the correct back black piece for each fish. Looks like that's the one, but it goes the other way. So it'll go like this, and there's two different pieces. This one that's more longer will go with the orange one, or the one with those little V's in it. And then this goes to this, and it'll fit in one of this right there. So in this one, so there are layered versions of this if you want to easily try to print and cut, change colors of the fish, sell all that fun stuff. That lines up like that, and then it goes like this. And then the bobber, the big red piece, the big white piece, and then there's a little cut line to help you guide this piece. So that's it for the bobber. So I'm going to go ahead and put these together so you can go ahead and watch. It's going to be a little bit faster speed than normal, and then we'll move along from there. So now we have all these put together. These are really fragile up here. I mean, they will cut out on your machine. Some might want to try it with maybe vinyl or something. That could be something you want to use with that piece. That's up to you. That would be an easier for some people that are not used to cutting cardstock. But it cut really well with the American Crafts texture cardstock. And it was pretty clean. So you can see the little points. So now we have those done, we can focus on the actual box and the hat. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to put them back in here so I don't lose them. And then we'll move on to the lid. Now we're moving on to the lid. So we have two of these. And then these are the sides of the hat. So I'm just folding those. And then here's the, so this is the larger sides. So take your time based on how much you need to fold them. How much. And then we'll go ahead and fold this. So this is that top edge of the hat. So it's always nice to get these folded before you start. These pointy pieces will be the top, and that's what this is. We have two pieces, one to put on the inside and one to put on the top to make it easier to put together. So those are the pointy part. It's going to be the top, and this is going to attach to that side piece. So this is not part of it. That's one of the box pieces. So first let's take this long piece. We'll go ahead and line this edge up to the fold. Fold that over. Glue the other tab. Just get it kind of flattens to line it right up for you. And this will do similarly. We're just going to glue it underneath there. Of course you can't fold this one flat because of the angles in it. So we'll just line up this other edge to the little tab fold here. Just line it right up there. Just make sure it's aligned. And then just apply pressure. So we're not going to put the top of it on quite yet. And we want to glue it to this piece. And what I like to do is line up where we have any kind of edge. So wherever I glued it here, I'm going to start on this side. That has two areas that we glued, but that's okay. We'll line up one of these. So we're just going to line this up. So we're going to line that up and glue it on the inside. Just making sure it's centered. It's a nice thing about wet glue, you can adjust it a little bit before you get it set. And what I like to do with any kind of polygons like this is do a kind of an opposite one. It's 8-sided, so I'm kind of going 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason is that I found when I do it just panel by panel, sometimes I get a little bit off as I'm going around. So if I do one kind of across from it or pseudo across from it, it seems to help me line up better. That might be in my mind, but it seems to work better. But the side effect of that, of course, I'll have to reach in and add the glue inside. So I'm going to just get these 3 tabs. I'll rotate it so you can see it. So I added glue to those 3 tabs there. So I'm going to carefully start at one side and line them up. So I'm just lining this edge, top edge, to the tab fold. And then reaching in and applying pressure from the inside to the tab. And it's pretty clean. Nothing's ever perfect, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's pretty close to where I want it to be. Not perfect. I'm just making sure. And then we'll do the final tabs. So I have 3 more tabs to attach. Just because of the angle, because I'm right-handed, and the angle which I have to hold this with my left hand, it's just, you just don't see me putting glue on the tabs. But it's the same exact as the other side. What's nice is that you can reach in, it's fairly large. You could make this a little smaller if you wanted to, but at its current size, it's easy to reach in. And I think it's a pretty good gift box for somebody who, if you have somebody in the family who likes to fish, or I was thinking also this is a good Father's Day present. Just adding just like a Happy Father's Day thing to the front. Okay, so you can see the shape of it. I just want to make sure, while it's still somewhat wet, to get those good and secure. So the reason we're doing this is twofold. It's easier to glue on the inside like this, so we're going to glue this on the inside, and then of course like that, and then we'll have that top panel to cover it. And then this covers those tabs from showing on the inside. I don't think anybody's really worried about those side tabs, but it just cleans it up. I just think it's easier to put things on. So I'm just going to add glue to all these tabs. And I mean, even if I excluded that panel, it still would have taken 3, for this particular size, 3 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock. So I thought it was just better because it gives it a cleaner look, and it's just easier to put together when you can glue to the inside. Anything shaped. So now I'm just making sure the textured side is showing. So I'm gluing the non-textured side if you're using something textured paper. So I'm just going to get it aligned with one edge in there, and then I'll go around. And I'm just making sure they push in to line up the inside folds with the edges of that panel as I go around. So try not to put a whole lot of pressure until you get around that whole box, so you can get it lined up properly. And then if you need to, you can just flip it over and apply additional pressure like that. Then we'll go ahead and just glue that top piece on. Making sure that texture's on the outside. I didn't want to, I make a lot of things, and I want to make sure people can make them. I can make them rounder and everything, but the more round and everything else something is, it's harder for the masses to make. So I want people to have an opportunity to do 3D crafting that may not, that can feel good about it rather than struggle with edges. I do have a few things that are a little bit more advanced out there that can cause a lot of frustration. But if you want to make something cute that's 3D, a 3D box that's specialized for somebody, try to make sure that I can get it to most anybody can do it if they watch the video. My lighting's off just a little bit today, but it's okay. So I didn't get it perfect, but you know, you want to make sure that those edges are glued down. So let me just get this part. And then I'm just going to go ahead and ink the edges once it's satisfied. I'm satisfied with how it's glued down. So when you're doing panels like this, I just don't like them sticking up. So it's good to just go around like this and apply additional pressure around those edges, which I'm doing with my thumb. Then I'm just going to add a little, kind of to roughen it up a little bit, add a little chalk ink. And this could be done with distress ink. That's something that you utilize. But we want to do this before we put on the any of the lures or anything. Or so if you want, I just want to do those top edges. That's the look I want. I kind of made it, got a little bit. So now that I accidentally did that, I'm going to dirty it up just a little bit more. It wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but I moved the thing wrong. Okay. Kind of looks like a dirty fishing hat now. Looks used. So now let's go ahead and make the box portion. That was the lid. So you have two pieces like this, so they're the same size. One goes with that. One goes with this. So let's go ahead and do this part. And the way this folds is this little tab on the side here, and then these fold like this. And then what we're going to do, we're going to glue it like this. So it's going to help a little bit. Let me pull those up a little bit here. It's going to help if you can curl it a little bit. Don't do it enough, you know, you don't want to rip the paper, but I'm just kind of curling it, whether you do it on however you normally would do that. If you're not used to doing that, you could try rubbing it over the edge of a table edge. I just don't have my camera situated for you to see that, or I do that, which kind of gives it a little curl. You see we're kind of giving it a little edge because it angles down. And once you're satisfied with what it is you can kind of tell because it's closer. It's like naturally closer to that tab. We'll go ahead and line this edge up to the tab fold. So you can see it's kind of sits up a little bit. So this is higher. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this piece. This is a box. It's going to sit down there. So we're going to take this piece. I have the texture side up, similar to what we did with the top of this. The difference is you're not going to see the other side because that other box is going to go on it. And do a little bit better glue job than I have, because now I have to wipe off I'm getting glue underneath it. And believe me, that glue gets on your project. Okay, so let me go ahead and wipe that off. Let's go ahead and just fit this in. Just get it lined up with one side first, and then the rest will fall into place. So that's how it's going to sit. So the box is going to sit right on there. So it's a, see, it kind of holds it up, that edge holds it up. Now we're going to go ahead and put that little top box, the inside box. So it's these two pieces, which I already folded, and then this bottom piece. So I'm just going to put this to the side for a moment. And this just goes together pretty simply. Same as the top sides. Just lining this up. That's where it's handy to fold it first, because then you can see, for some reason, if it's light paper and you can't see the score fold, like the fold, then you can pick it up there. So we'll just flat like that. And fold it over. That lines right up. If it doesn't, it might just need a minor adjustment. And we're going to glue it to the inside just like we did the lid and that other piece, the little brim. So you want to make sure you get a liberal amount of glue in the inside of these tabs. And then we'll just glue it to the inside. And even though you think you could see the tabs on the bottom, those will be hidden, because once we put it on to the brim piece, both the tabs on the bottom here and the ones on the, I'm going to call it a brim platform, they'll be all hidden. So make sure they're all squished in. Just line it up. Just line it up to one edge first. Then go ahead, go around, making sure that those edges sit into those tab folds. That one was a little bit off, so I was able to adjust it. And again, you can go around and just do this as well. So now it's nice and clean on the inside. Then we have this part. We're just going to line it up and glue it to the top. I'm going to make sure the seams match up to make it cleaner, because that'll be the back of the back of the cup. The cup, the hat. Oh boy. I must be thinking about something. I'm a little bit thirsty, so maybe that was thinking about a cup of water. My voice is getting a little raspy. Good thing I'm almost done. So you could put the glue on the bottom part or the top part. I tend to put it on the bottom just so, because I tend to have the dropsies. But we're just going to glue this, line it up to the little brim platform. This thing that never existed now exists. It's called a brim platform. See, that's how I entertain myself while I'm doing videos. So let's try to find the... Actually, I'm going to go put the edge on the side there, because you really can't see it anyways, which is good because we don't want it showing on the front. I'm just lightly putting it on there, and I'm just going to rotate it a little bit until it's in the right spot. And then this one you're probably going to have to reach in, or you will, and apply pressure this way. So I'm just And I'm really paying closer attention to the edge so that box gets good and glued on. Just trying to minimize that gap on the edge. So it looks good. That would be the back. We'll make that with the seam on the back. And this is just kind of a different thing because of the tabs on the inside. It might get caught a little bit. I'll add optional panels if you want to put panels inside. So if you look in the extra folder, if you're particular about that and you want to clean it up, there'll be some optional panels for the side, which you could use on the outside too. But I'm going to make them just slightly smaller than this. So that would clean it up to help it slide in and out better. But just be aware that could hinder you a little bit. So now we're just going to add the embellishments. So now the final thing is to add the embellishments. So get it situated the way you want. So I'm just going to turn this around a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and add these. So you, like I said, you could print and cut. This is the default of this file is a white background with black, but I just changed it to white and green. So I'm just going to put that on there. I like the sideways look. Did that on the last one. So I'm just going to go sideways on it. Kind of like I've gone fishing. And then, so there's a little foam tape. I'm going to go ahead and use the little one on this. I'm going to put this. So you just arbitrarily put these wherever feels good to you. You can glue them on. I'm going to use these little pop-ups. So if you want to go like, you can go lower. If you go lower, you can always curl it just a little bit. But no, if they go on and off. But I'm kind of looking at making it so it looks like it's attached. So I'm going to add a little dot of glue for this one. The original head I showed you, I just let it just sit there. I'm just going to glue it on. And then this one, I'm going to do a little pop-up. So we'll use this foam tape. So you can just arbitrarily put them where you want to or not use them at all. I just wanted to have a little bit more embellishments for you to use if you're interested. That's what I like about these little cups. You can hold your little pieces, then afterwards you can hold your trash. So I have these colors. I'm trying to think. I think I'm just going to go backwards with that. So I think I'm going to do a little bobber here. So really this is just decisions at this point. I'm going to put it back here. And then I'll put two fish. So we'll go ahead with the, kind of like the green one. So I think I'll angle that like that. So really at this point there's really nothing that pressing that's too big. Let's use these little ones. So if you do like this project, I would appreciate a little thumbs up below. And if you want to be notified of future projects, please subscribe and hit that little bell right next to the subscription button. And that'll notify you of new videos. So as I create more things, and also I do tutorials too. I've done a couple Cricut. I'm trying to do more silhouette, but there are a number of silhouette things out there, but I usually make it specific to my files or SVG files, or usually I show you the SVG files and then how to do it with ours, and then how you could do it with maybe like a silhouette file. A lost fish. So really at this point part is just embellishing. And usually I take a lot longer than this because I have to make a really good decision when I do my embellishing. And it can't be willy-nilly. So, this is the last piece. We're just gonna, I say we're just gonna throw it on, but that's not true. I lied. I'll put it on there, and I'll just let that one sit up for now. So that's it. Just a fun little gift box. Get in the right angle for your fisherman family, or you can make it any other hat. It kind of reminded me of Indiana Jones. I guess it's the same kind of hat. It was kind of bucket hat, I think it's called. But anyways, you can make it anything. You don't have to use the fishing stuff. You can put other stuff on it. So I hope you enjoyed this video and this project, and I thank you so much for watching.